All right, good morning, everybody. So glad you're all here for this next level circuit class, cardio strength. Let's start marching so we can get our bodies warmed up. We're keeping those abdominals tight. We are breathing. Pumping those arms so we get upper and lower body warming up at the same time. Good, and then we're gonna take the feet apart, slightly wider. And from here, we're gonna start stretching up toward the ceiling, one arm at a time, lengthening those lat muscles. Nice long reach. And then we're gonna take those arms across the chest, reaching toward the side. And then let's circle the arms, moving from that shoulder joint in a controlled manner, lifting and pushing the arms back. Excellent. And then let's step touch side to side, taking the arms in the direction that our bodies are moving. Check that core, make sure you're still pulling the navel toward the spine. And then take your arms and just push up overhead. And to that, you're going to add a little heel lift. Perfect. Now we're going to bring those heels to the front and we're going to reach down with the opposite arm. And you can see as we do this, our hips are slightly externally rotated. So now what I want you to do is bring the knees straight up in front of you. So there's no rotation in the hips. We're pulling those arms straight down, engaging the core. Perfect. From here, let's begin to kick front and reach forward with the opposite arm. So today in this next level workout, as usual, we'll be doing 2 sets of 8 reps of each exercise. Excuse me. And you're going to be using the heaviest weight that you can safely use. No pain, no strain, but just a lot of effort. And you want to make sure you can execute the exercise correctly without compromising, but again, without pain. And then our cardio segments, our 2-minute cardio segments will be the HIIT workout, 30 seconds high intensity, 30 seconds moderate, or you can go moderate the whole time. So everything is modifiable. Now, last one, let's step back, reach forward with the arms. Good job. Should feel like your heart rate is up a bit, breathing a little bit more laboriously, but you can breathe. That's always important. All right, and then let's go back do kind of a modified march, pulling it down here, and we'll go right into our balance. So we're going to start out real simply today. The feet are going to be really close together, hands on hips, and you're just going to turn your head and your eyes from side to side. Abdominals are tight, helping you to stay stable. When we're moving, we're using the vision portion of balance. Vision plays a big role in our balance. Okay, now I want you to bring your head back to center, and I would like you to try to close your eyes and just hold this narrow stance. And again, if you need something to hold on to, please be sure that you have that, whether it's a wall or a chair. So let's close the eyes. You're probably thinking, no problem. And maybe there is no problem. That's great. But as you hold longer, you may kind of feel your body start to drift a little bit, side to side. Just remember to keep that core really tight. If you're holding on to something, see if you can hold lightly, maybe with one finger, and then experiment with lifting that finger off your support for even just a second or two. Okay, good. Now open your eyes. Now let's take the left foot to the front of the right foot so your feet are in tandem. If you have a lot of trouble with this, you're going to step out to the side a little bit with that front foot. Okay, your eyes are still open. You know what's coming, right? Core is super tight. You're holding on if you need to. All right, now let's see if we can close our eyes and maintain. It's a world of difference. So now you're standing on a narrower base than we were the first time. And I have to tell you, if as difficult as this may seem, the more you do it, the easier it gets, and it does change quickly. Okay, let's open our eyes. Now, switch legs. Time your right foot is front, your left foot is behind. Engage that core and try to close your eyes. This is my more difficult side. You probably have a more difficult side as well. And some days are even more difficult than others. It's very, very normal with balance. Again, the more we do it, the more we excel at it. So this kind of shows you what a big role your vision plays in balance. Okay, you can open your eyes. I almost didn't want to open my eyes because I got real stable there for a few seconds. Okay, that's something you can practice at home too. Just always make sure you're near something you can grab onto if need be. Let's start our first circuit. We're going to begin with 2 dumbbells at the shoulders. We're going to be squatting, but as we come up out of the squat, we're going to be pushing those dumbbells up to the ceiling. So make sure your abs are really tight when you do this so that you don't feel the weight in your low back. And if you still do, then I want you to go lighter. All right, so this is working shoulders and primary upper leg muscles. So feet are apart. Remember, when you squat, you're going to push your butt back, get your body weight in your heels, not your knees. All right, here we go. Core super tight. Start from this point. To get those abs tight, come up and lift overhead. Lower those weights back to the shoulders. Push up through your heels, squeezing your glutes as you come up. Here is repetition number 3. You are breathing. 4. Here's 5. We've got 3 more to go. Please feel free to stop before we hit the eighth repetition if you need to. 7, and 8. All right, so let's set those weights down. Grab a mat. We're going to get down onto our backs with 2 dumbbells for alternating chest flies. And we will take a 30-second rest at the end of this set. Then we'll do a second set, and then we'll stand up and do our second set of squats so that you're not hopping up and down off the floor all morning. Okay, what I'd like you to try is to keep your legs in tabletop position, but as you do this chest fly, if you find that the weight's starting to pull you over, then ground your feet. Okay, that's a modification. So with the flies, we start with the palms facing each other. Our core muscles are super tight. That's going to keep us stable as that one weight drops off to the side and back up. All right, so we'll do 8 reps on each side. Abdominals tight. Here we go. Inhale down, exhale up. Other side, inhale, exhale. Really push up using those abs to give your chest and your arms a little extra power. Here's 2. 3, finishing off 3 right here. And going into the 4th rep. How stable are you able to keep your legs? There's 4. That's 5. Stay strong through that core. Pull your navel toward the floor. 6. 7. 1 more on each side. Keep breathing. Last rep right here. There's 8. All right, feet come down to the floor. You can set your weights down on the floor. See if you can get them to stand vertically because they're easier to pick up that way. And you've got 30 seconds to rest. So take some deep breaths. All right, you ready for the second set? Let's pick up those weights again. If your legs are in tabletop, go ahead and take them up. Weights up over the chest, palms face each other. Here we go, 1 arm at a time. Lock that core in so you can button up the stability of your body. Inhale down, exhale up. There's 2. And we're lowering those weights slowly and controlled. There's 3. 4 takes us halfway there. 5. Here's 6. Finishing off 6. 7. 1 more rep on each side. And there's 8. All right, let's drop the feet to the floor, carefully roll to the side. Then you're going to come upright. Take your time standing. So we don't want to get up too fast. And then you're going to pick up the weights that you used for your squats with the overhead press. So we'll finish off this circuit before we do our cardio with this last exercise. All right, so those weights go back to your shoulders. Your feet are apart. Remember to really tightly engage your core muscles. Here we go. Pushing body weight back and squeezing those glutes as you come up, pushing the weights up overhead. Really pulling that navel to spine as a way of supporting your lower back. There's 3, 4, 5. We've got 3 reps to go. 6, 7, 1 more rep. Remember, it's always okay to stop sooner if you need to. There's 8. All right, we're going to put everything out of the way, make some space for our cardio. Remember, if you're doing the high intensity, the first 30 seconds are going to be high intensity. Then we come down for 30 seconds and then up and down again. All right, I think we're going to start this circuit with football runs for 30 seconds. You're going to keep your abs super tight and you're just going to go as fast and as hard as you can, just 30 seconds. Here we go. So pull that navel in. Again, always offering your back some support. Try to move your arms quickly. Good. Only 10 more seconds to go. Okay, then I want you to jog in place. If you don't like to jog, you can march in place. We're bringing the intensity down just a bit for 30 seconds before we do it again. Ten more seconds. Are you ready? Here we go. If you're doing the high intensity, pull that navel in. Good job. Almost there. 10 seconds. There's 30. Going back to that jog or march. Last 30 seconds. And then the first circuit is behind us. Okay, 15 seconds left. All right, there's 2 minutes. Please keep your feet moving, whether you're just slowly walking across the room or just step touching in place. Grab your water. It's really important to hydrate. We're still bringing that heart rate down. Great job, you guys. Good start. I always think the first circuit is the hardest just because our bodies are going, oh, you want me to do that? Yeah, we do. Okay. So beginning of the first circuit, we're going to do a lateral walk with a mini band around our legs. Again, don't worry if you don't have a mini band. I would suggest that you get one if you don't, but you just follow along with the exercise, even if you don't have it now. So we're going to put that above the knees. And then as we go sideways, we're simultaneously going to be doing some hammer curls for the biceps. So you're going to, again, pick up the heaviest weights that you can safely use. So no pain. And as you step side, you're curling up. As you step back in, you lower the weights. We're going to go 4 steps in each direction, okay? When you bring that trailing leg in, try to keep a little tension on the band. So don't bring your feet all the way together. All right, so we'll do 4 in one direction, 4 in the other. Here we go. Keep those upper arms stable. Exhale as you pull that weight up. 2 more in this direction. Good. Now we go the other way. Try not to use your shoulders to lift those weights. Just use the biceps. And there's our 8 reps. Okay. So now, if you have a band on, I'm going to have you keep the band on. We are going to go down to our hands and knees, and you're going to need a lighter weight. Let me show you what we're going to do first so you know which direction to go here. We're going to get into quadruped position, knees below the hips, hands below the shoulders, and we're going to alternate 2 exercises. We're going to lift out to the side and up, and then we're going to lift one leg, the opposite leg, up toward the ceiling. So out to the side with the upper body, opposite leg lifts toward the ceiling. Okay, if you don't have a mini band, it doesn't matter. You don't need one for this. Okay, so abdominals are tight. We will do 8, and then we will change sides. All right, everybody in position. Get those abs nice and tight so you can stabilize. Here we go. Out to the side, reverse fly. Opposite leg straightens and lifts toward the ceiling. Here's the second rep. Leg goes up and back down again. There's 3 and 4. Try to lift that weight, that arm straight out to the side and not behind you. Imagine as you're lifting up that you're pulling that shoulder blade towards your spine. So we fire the rhomboids in the mid-back. 1 more. Extend the leg. Good. Take a little stretch back in child's pose. Okay, then we're going to reverse and do the other side. Okay, so other arm, other leg. Here we go. Lifting out to the side and up. Leg goes up behind you. Here's 2 reps. We've got 5 reps. 6. 2 more. Keep those abs nice and tight so you can keep your body as stable as possible. 1 more. All right, once again, drop back into child's pose. Reaching those arms forward, take a breather, a couple deep breaths in, relaxing your body. Because we're doing these one-sided, we're going to go right into the side that we started with again. So we'll knock off both sets before we stand up to do our lateral walk. All right, so again, neutral spine, abdominals tight. Here we go. We're back to that first side where we started. Get those abs nice and tight. Here's 3, 4, 5th repetition, and 6, 2 more to go. And that is 8. All right, take your little child's pose stretch, little break here. And then back up, switching to the other side. This is the last set. Other arm, other leg, neutral spine. Here we go. Arm goes up first, and then the leg for 1 rep. Check those abs, make sure your navel is still pulling in towards your spine. That is everything, you guys. That is helping to stabilize your spine as we work these extremities. There's 4, you're halfway there. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Excellent. All right, last child's pose right here. Now, you might ask, how am I supposed to get up with this mini band around my legs? So watch this. You probably all know downward dog from yoga, right? So you're just going to lift your knees off the floor and then walk your hands in, and then bring your hands to your thighs so your back is supported as you stand all the way up. How nifty is that? Okay, we're going to go back to that lateral walk, which is short and sweet. We're doing hammer curls at the same time, with or without a mini band. Shoulders are back and down, upper arms by your sides. Ready? Here we go. Step out. Remember, when you step in, don't bring the feet all the way together. Keep a little tension on the band. Here's 3. Get those abs nice and tight so you can get those weights up. Other way now. 4 more reps. 3, 2, 1 more. Pull it up and bring that leg in. All right. Awesome. We are now going to remove that band if you're wearing one. All right. And then we're going back to cardio. I keep messing with my air conditioning here because it's hot. All right. I think we're good now. Okay. So this time, if you're doing the high intensity, we're going to do jumping jacks. Okay. If you don't want to jump, you can just do the modified version. You ready? Let's do it. If you are jumping, please keep those knees soft as you land. Let them bend a little bit. 15 more seconds. 5 seconds. Okay, now we're all going to do modified jacks for 30 seconds. And if you need to modify more, lower the range of motion of your arms and maybe even your legs. 15 seconds more before we hit it again. Good job. And you know, you're always free to do your own thing in these cardio moves. Ready? Here we go again. 15 more seconds. Whew. 5 seconds. Now I just want you to step touch and move your arms. Good job. Last 30 seconds here. Five more seconds. And then remember, we're still going to move our feet and legs while we grab our water. Here we go. Still cooling down. Very important. Great job, you guys. We're halfway through. Okay, on this next circuit, we're going to be down on the floor for both exercises. So you will need your Coregeous ball and one dumbbell to do tricep extensions, pushing that weight up toward the ceiling. And that's all you will need. We don't need any equipment except your body for the second exercise. So let's grab our mats again. And I'm gonna grab my Coregeous ball, one dumbbell. We're gonna put that Coregeous ball between the knees and we will lie back. So we're gonna start up in a bridge position, gently squeezing that ball. We're gonna support this lifted arm with the back, at the back of the arm with the free hand. We're going to lower the hips to the floor as we lower the weight, and then push that weight up, lift the hips, and squeeze the ball all at the same time. Everything comes down, everything goes up at the same time. Don't forget to squeeze that ball as you lift your hips. All right, make sure you have a weight that does not create any pain and does not compromise your form. Remember, it's important to keep the upper arm stationary and perpendicular to the ceiling. All right, so let's start with everything up, including your hips. Here we go. Inhale as we lower. Exhale, lift and squeeze that ball. And as you're squeezing the ball, I want you to squeeze your glutes too. Squeeze your butt muscles. Here's 3. We're pausing at the top. And as we bridge, our body weight's in the heels of our feet. That's going to help you connect to the glutes. There's 5, 6, squeeze, lower, 7, squeeze, lower, one more. There's 8. Okay, so if your weight was heavy enough, it should have been very challenging by that last rep. You should have fatigued the muscle. Okay, let's move the weight to the other hand. And again, lift your hips as you lift that arm. Support that arm with the free hand. And here we go again, lowering everything as we inhale, lifting and squeezing as we exhale. Squeeze that ball, squeeze your butt. Here's 3, 4. Remember, you can use a pillow if you don't have a ball. That works just as well. 5, 6. Stabilizing that upper arm. 7. Keep the core tight for this last rep. 8. Good. And bring it down. All right. Let's roll to the side and just set that equipment off to the side. And then I'm going to have you do a prone plank. I will show you a progression. I'll show you the modifications. We're going to be on our elbows, so you don't have to worry about your wrists. This is the most modified version. Tuck my shirt in so you can see this. Your body is nice and straight like a plank. Feet are up. We're just going to hold for 30 seconds. You can progress it by going full body. Just make sure you're keeping your shoulders down, and you can either just hold or you can progress it one more time and alternately lift one foot off the floor at a time. Okay, the goal is to lift the legs but still keep the body stable. All right, so let's get into position. Whichever position is your choice, come up into the plank, and we're going 30 seconds. We're going to be sure to breathe, stabilizing our body as much as we possibly can. And the core, of course, is very, very tightly engaged. Five more seconds. And bring it down. Stretch back in child's pose. Taking a breather. Okay. Are you ready to go back to that first exercise? Or maybe I should say, are you willing? Are you ready and willing? Okay, the ball or pillows between your knees. Let's pick up that weight. Try to remember which side you started with before. Start with that side again. Extend your arm, lift your hips, squeeze the ball. Make sure you're supporting that upper arm. Here we go. Lower everything as you inhale, lift and exhale. Pause 2 seconds. Here's 2, 3, 4 reps. 5, keep squeezing that ball. Don't forget about that ball. 2 more. 7, it's a little harder this time around. That's as it should be. There's 8, because our goal is to fatigue muscle so we can get it stronger. All right, we're switching to the other side. Arm goes up, supporting it with a free hand. Lift your hips. Here we go. Bending and lowering. Inhale. Exhale, push up. Pause it up here for 2 seconds. Get so much more out of it. There's 3, 4, 5 reps. See if you can make the 8. If you can't, please stop. Don't do it with bad form. That's how we hurt ourselves. One more rep is 8, and we're there. All right, bring it down. Carefully roll to the side. Let's do another 30-second plank in whichever form works for you. Everybody ready? On forearms. Here we go. Focusing on keeping that core really tight and keeping your shoulders down. Really stabilizing that torso. Five seconds to go. Finish off your rep cycle and drop down, stretch back. Excellent, way to go. We are getting there. All right, how about if we stand up, make sure all our equipment is out of the way, especially that Coregeous ball, because it tends to sneak up on us. Feel free to grab a sip of water if you need to. Okay, back to our cardio. Okay, so this time, how about if we do some jumping lunges? Doesn't have to be a big jump, or you can always break it up and take the impact out of it if you want to. All right, you ready? Here we go. Always takes me a second to get my opposite arm and leg in gear. Keep that core nice and tight. All right, let's all bring it down now. Breathing a little easier now. Okay, if you're going to go again, here we go. Pace yourself. Okay, that's it. Let's bring it down for the last 30 seconds. Almost there. 10 seconds to go. Okay, and we're there. Let's grab our water and take a walk around the room slowly. Nice even pace. Just be sure to hydrate. How we doing, everybody? We got one circuit to go. We're all still standing, hopefully. All right, we're almost there. We will begin the last circuit in a lunge position, and we're going to have two lighter weights. Be careful because we're working smaller muscles in the shoulders here. And we're going to hold those weights at our sides. We're going to do a little lunge, and it doesn't matter if you drop down just a little or if you drop down further. But when you come up, we're then going to do a lateral raise with those weights. I want you to remember which leg you have forward, okay? Because we'll come back for the second set with the other leg forward. So only 8 reps. Remember, on the lunge, you've got to have a lot of space between your feet, and that back heel back there is way up off the floor. All right, shoulders back and down, your core is tight. Here we go. Drop down, push up through the front heel, and then do your lateral raise. And remember, if you're watching this recording, you're just starting out, you can even do this with no weight, or maybe 2 little tomato paste cans, and work your way up over time. There's 4, 5, 6, 7. Look at that, only 1 more to go. Okay, now again, note which leg is forward. When we come back to this, we're gonna switch legs. All right, now we're gonna grab our ball and we're gonna do a back extension over the ball. And if you don't wanna do this on the ball, you can do it flat on the mat. But to do it on the ball, your hips and pelvis are supported back here, kind of toward the back side of the ball. And our arms go out to the sides. Same thing if you're flat on the floor. Looking at the floor, we're just going to lift the chest and lower it back down again. Okay, we're going to do 8 reps here. And then we will do this for a second set as well. Okay, so arms out to the side. I like to do palms forward, thumbs up from a neutral spine. Here we go into a little bit of extension and then lower back down to neutral. Make sure you keep breathing. Here's 3. And we're not jerking it up. We're not thrusting. We're gliding into the movement. Nice and gentle. This is 5. 6. 7. And 8. All right. How about if we drop our knees down, hands either on the ball or the mat? Let's do a little child's pose, and then we'll do that one again before we go back to the first exercise. Just taking a little break, a little stretch. Okay, then we're going to pull ourselves back up. And whether you were on the ball or on the floor, you're getting back into position. Arms out to the sides. And here we go, second set. Lifting up gently, brief pause at the top of that lift, and then lower it down slow and controlled. Here's 3 reps. 4. 5, only 3 more to go. So last 3. And 2. And 1. All right, excellent. Take a little stretch one more time. All right. Now you might want to keep that ball close by because we're going to use it for our last cardio segment. Don't panic if you don't have one. You can always do something else. Okay, pick up those dumbbells again that you used for lateral raises. Take the other leg forward now. Remember that big space between your feet, back heel up off the floor. Engage the core, and let's drop down, push up through that front heel, lateral raise. And lower, push up. The more you push up through that front heel, the more you're going to feel those lunges in your glutes. And that's what we want. Here's 4. And 5. 6. Only 2 more to go. 7. Last 1. Lift and pull it back down again. All right, excellent. Way to go, you guys. We are down to our last cardio segment. We're going to do it on the ball, unless you don't want to or you don't have a ball. Then you can, what I would suggest is that you do, for the high intensity, do a high jog, okay? And then a lower march, okay, for the lower intensity. Otherwise, you're on the ball. You're going to follow me this time on the ball, unless you don't want to, and that's fine too. All right, here we go. Getting those arms way up there. And if you don't feel comfortable moving your legs, then don't. It's okay. A big range of motion in the arms, core muscles tight, and breathing. All right, let's bring it down. Notice I'm keeping my arms at heart level at the highest point on this one because I want to drop my heart rate a bit. Still pulling that navel way in, right? 10 more seconds and we go high again, if you choose to. Ready? Here we go. Big arms. Fifteen more seconds. Navel in. 3 seconds left. All right, and then let's bring it back down to heart level with the arms. Still bouncing, but decreasing our intensity. Make sure you're breathing. All right, there's our 2 minutes. Arms come down. We're going to slow that bouncing down. We're going to go right into stretch, taking that right arm across the chest, stretching the deltoids. Keep that shoulder dropped so it doesn't climb up to your jaw. As your breathing gets easier, slow your bouncing down until you come to a complete stop. Other arm across the chest, shoulder drops. Great job, you guys. I know that was not easy stuff. Okay, let's go back to that first arm, but reach it down the back body, support the elbow. Try to keep the palm of that hand on your back so you have enough flexion in the elbow to stretch your tricep. Sitting nice and tall, looking straight ahead. We don't want to be looking down at our feet. Other arm. Good job. Okay, then we're going to release that, bring both arms behind us, clasp the hands together, gently pull your shoulders back, and if it's comfortable, lift your arms a bit. Otherwise, keep it low. Let's take the knees and feet a little farther apart as we hold this upper body stretch, and then I want you to do a little hip flexion or a little hip hinge going forward, still keeping that neutral spine. Still stretching through the shoulders and chest. Only now you also feel it in your inner thighs and hamstrings. And then slowly pull your torso back up. Release your arms. Legs come together. We're going to take that right leg and straighten it out in front. Hands on the thighs for back support. Again, hip hinge forward, going a little deeper into these hamstrings and calves. Bringing that neutral spine back up, bring that leg in, other leg goes out, flexing at the ankle, and hip hinge forward. And then slowly pull yourself back up. All right, we're gonna set the ball off to the side. Last couple stretches standing. I'm going to have you take one leg back, kind of like you were in that lunge position, but I want you to keep the torso upright if you can. Tuck your tailbone under a little bit. Watch what happens to my pelvis when I do that, right? I'm just curling under. Now I feel more stretch in these hip flexors. We're going to hold here. Let's take that same side arm on the side of the leg that's back. Take that arm up toward the ceiling to increase your stretch. Breathe into it. Deliver oxygen to those muscles. Bring your arm down. Release the pelvic tilt and step forward. Now your other leg's going to go back. We're going to bring that torso upright. So already you're feeling stretch in the hip flexor, tailbone under, pelvic tilt. Arm goes up on the side of the leg that's back. Your arm is up, but your shoulders are not elevated. So if you feel like they're lifting, try to drop them. Bring your arm down. Release the pelvic tilt and step forward. Okay, now I want you to go to a wall or a chair, hold on to something, and take one leg up behind you, holding above the ankle joint. Knees are together, tailbone is under. We're stretching quadriceps. Front of the thigh. Big, big four-part muscle. Got four parts to it. Okay, bring that foot down. Other leg now. Try to keep your body upright in a nice straight line. Tailbone under, knees together. Good job. And even if you're holding on to something, we're practicing balance. Again, we practice balance in so many ways in these classes because it's so, so important. All right, bring that foot down. Let's take a deep breath in. Reaching up, exhale, bend your knees a bit as you lower. One more time, breathing in. Exhale it out. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Excellent job. Commend yourself for being here today. I commend you as well. Thank you, you guys. Please keep moving, and I'll see you next time.